climate science is generally very conservative. And conservative in the sense is that the models, essentially, they're wrong. That they are only based on the amount of carbon dioxide that we're emitting into the atmosphere right now and causing these extreme weather events. So when we talk about what will happen in the future, I know science likes to put sort of timelines on it. It's not 10 years, it may not be 20 years, but when they're talking about 10 years, they're talking about hitting an ecological trigger point, which means there's a point in time where we've emitted so much carbon dioxide into the atmosphere right now that there's nothing that we can do to turn that back around, to essentially reverse it. We hit a series of positive feedback loops. An example of a positive feedback loop would be that there's a lot of methane trapped in the ice. Because the world is starting to warm up, the ice is now melting, releasing that methane. So there's all these positive feedback loops that are not being incorporated into the carbon climate models. So when I say the carbon models are wrong, saying that we're only incorporating our carbon emissions into the modelling system, there are now millions of these climate positive feedback loops that are being triggered across the entire world. And so when a climate scientist says that this is happening a lot faster than what we thought, it's because they're not incorporating all of the other feedback loops into their models. And we're hitting those trigger points now to the point where it'll become so fast and so quick that we won't be able to do anything about it. And so we have to bring it back. So when we say we have 10 years to change, we have a 10-year window right now to start to reverse all this stuff. The science behind this is quite clear. There's two ways to solve climate change. The first way, renewable energy. The second way is carbon farming. Now that is the regeneration of nature. That's restoring the forests, restoring the oceans, and restoring all the soils. And the maths is simple. So what goes up must come down. We can calculate the amount of carbon dioxide that we need to get back down to start to reverse the climate shifts. It's called a point of drawdown, where the emissions stop increasing and they start decreasing instead because we're reverse mining.